sons, you could have stayed. It's only over when the day is done. I never knew you was a runner, yeah. I mistook you for a son. It don't matter what we think when it's all over. 'Cause this is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice and raise your power, yeah. This is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice and raise your power, yeah.
Archie, is it fun?
Fun.
Fun.
After me. Ready? Happy?
Happy.
New?
New?
New.
Was wrong to say I wouldn't change a thing, 'cause in the story of our lives, the best of times through colored glass, time rolls on enough to let me move on past, but every little now and then it creeps on back to shape my smile.
Alright, it started from here. Alright, this could literally be someone's weekly budget to feed their family. You can now visit the Queen's grave for £26.50, what? How do they pronounce? 50 cents? I don't know. Or £28.50 on Saturdays. Alright, so there's this ex-military person. Everyone needs to listen to this and reassess themselves. Royal family equal, you see the word. Alright, so there it is here. Former British soldier on why the monarchy is not your friend. There it is. It's 9 minutes. I think after this, I'm gonna have to create another video because it's 9 minutes. It's long.
So now we've buried the Queen, why stop there? Why not bury the entire monarchy? That may seem harsh, but hear me out. The monarchy is not just a symbol of inequality, it actively upholds it. King Charles's mum dies, he inherits 400 million and he pays 0 inheritance tax. If your mum dies, you pay 40%. And I bet you don't have 20 billion worth of assets to back you up. The Crown Estate is worth between 15 and 30 billion pounds, while 4 million children live in poverty. And we've got more food banks than branches of McDonald's. And where did...
Alright, these are things I've mentioned on my videos many times. The food banks, all of this. And one thing I truly believe what happened. In the UK, when the Queen father died, the type of Tories took over and then they trained Charles to be what he is now. Okay, so let's continue.
Did they get their vast wealth? Violence, imperialism, colonialism. The British monarchy is built on violence, and I say this as a former British soldier. It's time to take the opportunity.
I have like 4 videos. Well, one of them slipped through. YouTube allowed it for me to make some money. You guys already seen it, but I've mentioned it, but they keep on holding it. It's been weeks. I did it before I went on vacation. Or when did I do it? No, wow. When did I do it? I think around when we find out the Queen died. Okay, so they haven't approved it yet.
Opportunity to throw the monarchy on the scrap heap of history where it belongs. I'm Joe Glenton, journalist, author, former soldier and traitor to the crown. Probably before I was ever really political, I was from the mind of a child, kind of a Republican. It never really made sense. That said, I am, in a much more literal sense than many people, an actual traitor to the crown. Of course, I signed an oath to the Queen many years ago when I joined the military. I bet
there's that thing, signing an oath. This is what Harry did for the Queen.
I was born into this life, and it is a great honour to serve my country and the Queen. It has been our privilege to serve you, and we will continue to lead a life of service. So in that respect, nothing changes. I always have the utmost respect for my grandmother, my Commander-in-Chief. I will continue to be the same man who holds his country dear and dedicates his life to supporting the causes, charities and military communities that are so important to me.
Sign an oath, he will always honor the Queen and all of that. And I think now, I don't think he was gonna sign an oath to the father because the father had betrayed him. All right, I hope he doesn't go to the coronation. I think it could also mean also waiting until, well, you can't make any deal with Charles because once he get what he wants, he's still gonna do what he wants to do. So let's see here.
even then, I didn't really buy into it. I was never a Queen and country kind of person. This is a group of people who basically came to power, or their ancestors came to power, because they were more violent, more vicious, more sneaky than another group of people who were also vying for power, and they have managed to hold on to power. People talk about how it's a constitutional monarchy, it's not a tyranny, but it is a tyranny, but it's a quiet tyranny, and it's a tyranny we can kind of tolerate because it's wrapped in pageantry and this kind of shroud of democracy, the Privy Council.
That's it. He's explaining. Well, there's somebody who's explaining more than I do. And this is exactly what I thought.
And things like that. And I think when you start to scratch the surface, you can see all the times that the monarchy, in my lifetime, has intervened in politics. Whether it's the Queen didn't want black household servants, they wanted to be exempt from particular laws relating to climate change, or Prince Charles's, now King Charles's, famous spider letters in his scratchy handwriting, trying to influence government on particular issues. Charles was the most senior royal to act as a kind of frontman for the arms trade. He's not the only one. Prince Andrew was a frontman.
Yep, and yep. And this is the thing that Dr. Schuller was saying in one of the videos that I share with you.
For the arms trade, a man who has links to Epstein, the late paedophile, who was bailed out with 12 million of our money. Endless stories about them storing their money in tax havens. You look at the massive amounts of wealth and land they own. You look at their continued and increasingly unwanted lording over the former colonies. These are massively powerful people. And I think just on that basis, you should be critical of the monarchy. And again, if they have no power, if they're just symbolic, then why was the whole country in effect locked down and certainly locked to a particular kind of media coverage? Why was it force-fed? So many journalists, who I'm sure on any other topic probably are capable of impartiality, just turned into stenographers for the monarchy. There is a line to be drawn between grieving, even a national grieving process over a public figure, and just being a boot-licking sycophant. And that is how a lot of senior journalists in the mainstream media came across. There was no space.
See, I'm not in the UK, so I didn't know how much coverage was being put out there, but this is him explaining after the Queen's funeral.
Whatsoever for anything except the top-down kind of narrative. First of all, republicanism is a legitimate viewpoint, and it is legitimate to express it at any time. And I don't care if it's the Queen's funeral or the King's coronation. It is a long and grand tradition in this country, because so much of what we are concerned with, the commons, landlords, unaccountable power, runs straight through the monarchy. And yet there's this kind of baked in deference to power.
Especially the land. One of the things that I've highlighted one couple times on my videos, where if you don't have a will and you die and then the monarch take it, what kind of thing is that? It doesn't make sense. But he's putting everything in one. This is somebody who's paying attention.
Which runs all the way through British politics, the whole spectrum. which stops us asking those questions when they need to be asked.
Why are you so subservient to someone you don't even know?
Sod off. Go away. Don't call me again. I can't stand you. You disgust me.
The right wing are and it's been evident in the last week or so, the kings of cancel culture. Not a word can be uttered which is critical of the Queen or the monarchy. And it's not to say there are problems on the liberal left and the further left, but certainly the right love the idea of unaccountable authority. It's part of their ideology. Every commentator going was virtue signalling for the last 10 days or so. What we've just seen is like a nuclear state-mandated mass virtue signal. What was the cue if not a mass virtue signal?
Oh
David Beckham, God bless him, had queued up, but Holly and Phil had pushed in, and all of the people commenting on it completely ignored in their conversation about equality and privilege that they were all queuing up to see the coffin of a 96-year-old billionaire who had inherited.
I will never forget one of the comments that I read where her mom or his mom was going to see the coffin. She's like, I'm not coming with you. But the thing with the Beckham thing, I saw it, but I didn't bother sharing it. Was it one of them? Did I? Maybe I did. I don't remember. Squeezed through the line, and Beckham was upset about that. But let's listen.
Inherited by accident of birth, gigantic power in this country. And I think we can do better than that. People are down in the queue saying they're happy to the human respect appeal, wanting to be part of history. It is a historic moment, but maybe not in the way that most people whose view is kind of obscured by a weird sycophantic love of the monarchy would understand. The British state is being remade before our eyes. That's the historical aspect. What we're seeing is the kind of mythologies of British identity being reformed and remoulded. There's been an attempt to de-link the royals from...
That is true. When you look at when they shipping those refugees out of the UK to Rwanda and all of this, and Charles pretending he cares and all of that, they told him to shut up. But there is a really sense of identity that is being rebranding in the UK. I don't know. He sees it. I'm not even in the UK. Based on things that I see happening, I do see the same thing that he's seeing.
Colonialism, the Queen, particularly. How much land is...
Sorry, let me rewind it a little bit. Oh, this remind me of my... when you get... I'm going to rewind it a little bit. When we get to that part, I'll let you listen completely. But it reminded me of the video that I have of the UK flag, what I've said about it. Where the land location of all the British Commonwealth is at. Someone have a special interest on those land, and I don't know, there's a possibility they want to destroy the monarchy, so those special interests should go there and get it, or unless Charles is gonna help them get it. But I'm gonna rewind it. There.
They're happy to the human respect appeal, wanting to be part of history. It is a historic moment, but maybe not in the way that most people whose view is kind of obscured by a weird sycophantic love of the monarchy would understand. The British state is being remade before our eyes. I think that's the historical aspect. What we're seeing is the kind of mythologies of British identity being reformed and remoulded. There's been an attempt to de-link the royals from colonialism, the Queen particularly. How much land is owned around the world by the monarchy? You have to explain why they own billions of acres of land across the world. The monarchy is an institution of violence. It's built around violence, our colonial history and our imperial history. The Queen oversaw the last phase of the British Empire and was centrally involved in that. And even more recently, the royal prerogative has been exercised to enforce parts of the colonial settlement. In particular, the Chagos Islanders, Diego Garcia, the Privy Council ruled that they couldn't return to their homeland. And then you can just look at the kind of accoutrements the monarch has on their person when they're in their costume of state. Diamonds from this former colony, gold from this former colony, opals from another former colony, sapphires from somewhere else. They are absolutely centrally involved in colonialism and were from the very beginning, and they continue to be when they go and tour around, hedonistically getting carried around on racks by the islanders in some former part of the empire. It's absolutely central to their identity. As I've said, it embodies inequality. It's not just a symbol of inequality, it is the ultimate expression. People who God decided could be in charge. That's literally the terms we're speaking.
That's right. Again, that flag, the UK flag that I have, where God is on top and then the firm below, This is exactly the reference that I'm getting out of this. This guy is spot on. He knows what he's talking about. And me, I got it from reading some of these tweets and from following Meghan and Harry. They should leave Meghan alone. And this thing that he's trying to do to get Harry kids out of this thing, it doesn't fit into the mold that he wanted, only white. So this is the thing that they're trying to do. And the US was aiming toward that same thing. You see them putting walls here, put there, so people go back to their homeland and all of that. This was the embodiment that they were trying to do. But I told you, the 2020 election was very crucial. And the US is at a strain right now. If we don't fight and vote for the right people to allow the US be what it intended to be, free and do those kind of things to a certain limit. Every freedom comes with a certain limit, but they were waiting for the US to follow through. All right, but that 2020 election put a halt to it. So he's right. And I knew, and I was giving you the similarities, the kind of things that the US was doing, and then the UK was also doing this kind of thing. I'm not a political person or political major, but your eyes, your ears are seeing things. You can make the comparison. All right, let's listen.
We have to argue with that. One argument that's leveled against Republicans is that if we had a president, we'd have a Trump. We'd have this kind of corporate-sponsored demagogue, as if Liz Truss isn't that already, as if Boris Johnson isn't that already, as if the monarchy isn't that already.
Like I said when, I don't know which video is that, when Liz Truss came to power, and I was like, it's nothing different. It's the same thing continue. It's just a different face. They just caught Bojo. If it wasn't for journalism, I think it was Byline. I'm not 100% sure that. I think it was Byline journalists who saw the thing that really took him down. And this is why they don't like journalists over there. And then the recycle system. So it seems like in my recycle system kind of thing, there were supposed to be 3 branches where each one of them check each other, but all these branches, well, the court is holding on. Let's just say the court is holding on slightly, okay? But 2 of the branches, those MPs and all of that, and the monarch are just 1, okay? So that's one thing.
Ready, as if Prince Charles isn't a front man for arms firms, as if the Queen, even though she maybe didn't publicly do that stuff, didn't tacitly let it happen, tacitly endorse it. And it's also a question about the kind of society you want to have. A lot of monarchists come to you and go, are you a Republican, so you'd want a president? That would be rubbish. And it's like, no, I'm not trying to replace what we have now with some other kind of crap capitalist society, guys. I want a completely different kind of society, which is much more communal and is based on sharing things. I mean, if I had just inherited billions and billions of pounds, massive amounts of land, gigantic amounts of privilege, at the point when the country I claim to serve is about to plunge into an energy crisis, is in the midst of an escalating cost of living crisis, I would probably put my hand in my pocket and cough.
Okay, this is the thing that I be sharing with you. There's someone who lives over there who's saying it point blank. There it is.
And pay for some things. And the fact that they have not, and I suspect will not, probably tells you a lot. And you should think about that, because these people aren't like you. They believe they are appointed by God or their genes to rule over you. And I think this is exactly the time, amid all those colliding crises, to start thinking about that. All the questions which concern people who are interested in justice and equality, they all at some point run smack bang through the middle of the British monarchy, and we have to take it into account. We can't just circumvent it or shy away from it, or because one of them's died, take our foot off the gas, because that is precisely the time to critique rather than just allowing the kind of a session to roll through. People are literally starving. Pensioners will die this winter because they can't heat their homes. And I think it should really bring that into relief. But of course, there is a problem. The British disease is deference to power. And it hasn't always been like that. We have got rid of a king once in this country, and they called it the first 2 years of freedom. And it's something that we should not try and recreate. We're not doing cosplay, but it's something we should consider. What could the world look like? What could Britain look like without this mafia family at its head?
Wow.
As we've seen in the last few days,
Wow.
an independent media, which is critical and
Alright, so there's his information. If you guys want to follow him, there it is. See, this is why I had to stop in between and criticize his video. Otherwise, I'll get flagged. Alright, so there's that. There's his information. Alright, let's see here. I've been calling the royal family. Did I finish it? I don't think I finished it.
free thinking is more important than ever. So if you want a media that isn't sycophantic and doesn't spend days and days doing coverage of royal coffins, support Double Down News on Patreon. So now we've been
Double coverage of a coffin. Oh my god, this is sad when you hear it. This is sad. Okay, I've been calling the royal family the mafia for years. This man is telling the whole truth. How on earth we have William and Kate getting paid massive amount of money from the taxpayers while they have the audacity to talk about community. Okay, same here, exactly what I said before, that they are a cartel, but it has to come from within an ex-army, within the British public, within the elites and the hierarchy. Chuck is the dude that is weighing the balance toward the republicanism. If black folks said this, they will tell us to get over it. Thank you, white guy. Thank you, white guy. I mean, I don't know. The British media is doing its job to completely blind people. To blind the people. They're really going hungry. They don't see the problem. It's the monarchy. But okay, who am I to say? It also helps when it's a good look white dude. Alright, so that's that. Alright, I want to finish this video. I have a lot more. I'm probably not gonna record anymore once I finish this because my kids are up. But let me add this to it. I don't think, okay, it's 2 minutes. Okay, Liz Truss repeatedly told the BBC that energy bills are capped at £2,500. They are not. This figure is based on what a typical household with an average use will pay. It is not the maximum amount any household will pay. I don't know, maybe the last one and this one I'll put it on the other channel. I don't know, but let's listen.
After wrongly claiming on CNN over the weekend that no household will pay more than £2,500 on their energy bills, we wrote to the Prime Minister. We told her this was incorrect, but she repeated it again this morning on BBC Radio Leeds.
Through the energy price guarantee, the maximum will be £2,500.
And again on BBC Radio Kent.
We have taken action by the government stepping in, making sure that nobody is paying fuel bills.
Ms. Truss, this is a crisis.
More than £2,500.
This is a crisis and many people...
And again on BBC Radio Nottingham.
Making sure that people across this country are not facing energy bills of more than £2,500.
According to the government's own figures, this is...
It's the same thing. Alright, whatever Bojo who was doing this thing, and it's the continuation. I don't know. When people vote, they're gonna throw the racism. The black people are coming for their stuff. But meanwhile, whoever's taking it is the one who's pointing fingers. I don't know.
This is wrong. The £2,500 figure is the average a typical household will pay, not the maximum amount any household will pay. Depending on property type and energy usage, some households will pay more than this and some will pay less. For example, according to the government, the typical bill for a detached house with average use will be £3,300.
Wow, that's
while
a lot.
for a semi-detached house, it'll be £2,650. By comparison, the typical bill for someone living in a purpose-built flat with average use will be £1,750.
That's still a lot. Oh my god.
At other points, Ms Truss said £2,500 will be the maximum typical fuel bill, which is more accurate, though potentially still confusing as it doesn't explicitly mention usage. This isn't good enough. The public deserves to know what bills they should expect this winter. Suggesting there's a hard cap on bills risks vulnerable people thinking they can use as much energy as they want for £2,500. The Prime Minister should publicly correct her claim.
Well, I don't know. When it's time to vote, are anybody gonna make any changes in their way to vote, or they gonna go by the shiny object they're gonna throw at you to make you forget all of this?
Have to be honest with the public.
We agree. If you do too, stand up for honesty and sign the petition by visiting fullfact.org.
Oh my goodness.
After-
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let's see. 2,500 is still for too much and unacceptable. and unacceptable. It is double last year's tariff, and these have been rising for years. Okay, there is a loophole whereby energy companies can increase unit rate cap by significantly more than £34 by reducing the night rate tariff. Okay, you know what? I just wanted to share that video. If you are in the UK, there. And for those who are not in the UK, when I'm saying certain things, this, okay, this is it. There's people who's coming out and say their own perspective of things. Let me see. Maybe I'll add one more. Let's see. One next tweet. Okay. Remember the time when the media made Brenda, Chuck, Peggy, and Luigi the squad becoming with some names. Luigi's brother posed for a Succession picture to try and scare Harry and Meghan, saying slim down and you end it, only for Harry and Meghan to return and hand in their notice of resignation. Okay, that's so funny. It was a season of trying to put them in their place, as it were. It's also the way they praised them only after getting access to South Africa, only for a lawsuit to drop. Okay, I'm a bit lost here. I'm not 100% sure what this is referring to. Okay, I knew after the South Africa they were not coming back, and I was happy for Meghan because I want her free of toxicity. Okay, I guess when Harry and Meghan decided to leave and told the monarchy they no longer want to be working royal, okay, at the end I suspected they might stay away when they went away for 6 weeks right before the holidays. Okay, but I was still caught off guard. Can I say though, I was thrilled. I remember the Daily Beast guy writing an article after the new year about putting them in their place upon their return from North America. Yeah, I have a video where I say plan of exit. I think they were planning how they could get out. And this probably, I don't want to say who before people come after me, but they use it as a way, because you see Meghan didn't even come back. You know, they took her passport and all of this. So Harry saw, and Meghan wasn't happy. And Harry said it was his decision to take his family out of there.
The decision that I have made for my wife and I to step back is not one I made lightly. It was so many months of talks after so many years of challenges. And I know I haven't always gotten it right, but as far as this goes, there really was no other option.
Okay, and they were so excited when they heard they were back until they realized they didn't bring the baby. So the squad are looking back. They are looking back in the rear view mirror, seeing how the Sussexes did their escape. Okay, Shipwreck looked like he was having a panic attack at the resignation news. Could see his bank account shrinking. That's definitely the squad are looking back in the rear view mirror. Then he reluctantly tweeted that after Wednesday he will no longer need to cover them. He's been breathlessly covering them ever since. Seems even more who remember when all these royal podcasts went offline when Meghan was on maternity leave with Archie. Okay, I think at that time, during that time, what was I doing? I think I was more on viewer, alright, watching some of the Sussex's podcasts, and Hugo in particular, because he usually have at least one video. I don't know if he still does that, because I don't have time to watch TV. Whenever I do, I fall asleep. So I was more in the other side, watching what was being reported. I had this channel, but I wasn't really putting stuff out. It was little at a time. I've explained that story. Let's go to the next tweet. So the squad are laughing at what happened back then. All right, next tweet. She didn't die of broken heart. Oh my God, the squad are freaking savage when it comes. And she didn't die of broken heart. Queen Elizabeth II died of old age. Death certificate shows. I did post on my community board what Omid had shared, her death certificate. Okay, Queen Elizabeth, okay, I read that. Date 11/36 on September 29, 2022. London CNN, Queen Elizabeth II died of old age. Her death certificate has revealed. The squad is saying not at old age. Nope. Okay, don't say the squad or something. I can't believe this. Nope. Turns out archetypes with Meghan is safe for centenarians too. Phew, I was beginning to worry, not about our life expectancy, because I've been sharing far and wide. Okay, she didn't die of old age. Doctors were concerned about her health before, so no. Next tweet. Let's see here. Okay, UK media have been campaigning to stop RAVEC. Okay, I think I even post this also on my community board, and I share a link of my video that describe sort of talk about RAVEC in some shape or form. All right, for those who may not aware of. All right, UK media have been campaigning to stop RAVEC from allowing Harry to pay for his own police security, and now they are checking private individual hired by Harry for his security. This is harassment. Yeah, that's definitely is. Okay, please verify before spreading misinformation. The security looks like it was hired by One World people in UK, not Harry and Meghan. Let me see here. Okay, even if it, okay, I don't know much about this, so whatever is being showed here, that's what I'm sharing. Even if it was the case, why is the British media interested in knowing anything about someone's personal security? It is not taxpayers' money. Only Harry, I will assume. This type of knowing, it should be Harry. All right, to know who is gonna be my... Even if that was the case, why is the British media interested in knowing anything about someone's personal security? All right, like I was saying, I was distracted by something. Harry, I think, should be the only person to do this extra investigation. Who are you? You know, a little bit more background about that person. But the royal family, not so much. Okay, let's see. Maybe in a way I could say, okay, because remember I explained about that, how did they call it, 5 Eyes something, where 5 countries, the UK, the US, who else, US, Canada, Australia, I think New Zealand is one also, who share intelligence. So maybe they might want to know. I don't know why. Well, I'm eating the paper until I bite on it. Okay, so yeah, if it's not taxpayers' money, why is it even a topic of discussion? I understand why. Because I think the kind of information that Harry is looking for probably required to know the background of those people. So I understand. I don't think it's a bad thing, in my humble opinion, because I guess because I did some research. I don't know. If you watch my old videos, you might understand as well. The man was hired because if the UK police is government is gonna give Harry some information about him, they will need to know who is Harry hiring to know those information. This kind of thing. So I sort of understand. Okay, because they want to make sure this doesn't go beyond whoever is supposed to know it. The man was hired by the UK team. I bet someone recognized him into the file and went looking for more information. Okay, so I'm missing something. I'm only seeing this post, this tweet about that security issue. I didn't come across anything else. So I'm missing something in between. Okay, also they try to blackmail for information on Harry and Meghan, and he didn't know or refused to say, so they attacking him. Okay, so that, okay, also they likely try to blackmail for information on Harry and Meghan, and he didn't know or refused, so they are attacking him, not supporting abuse of his history. But we know the British media operates on blackmail and hate. When you look at the way the how do you call this, the Danish queen, I think that's the same thing. She was blackmailed to do the things to his family, and I think she did it to, you know, how do you call this, to protect those the family. That's what I think happened. I do not know the Danish. I don't follow the Danish, with the exception of what I told you, what I'm aware of. But I think the queen did it to protect those kids. That's what I think, because Charles probably said, if you don't do this, I'm gonna send those you know, those daily rats to Hawaii. You know what, let me not say what I think. Let me move on to the next one. I don't want to give anybody any idea. Alright, so that's that. With this, what I'm sharing here, that's all I know. I don't know if anything else came out, but the squad must have come across something to put this out. Alright, let me try to finish with some of these. I have one more after that, and then that will be it. Okay, someone is talking about that. This could literally be someone's weekly budget to feed their family. Interesting. This kind of merching, aka grifting, is okay, but Meghan is accused daily for trying to make a buck off just wearing her own clothes and accessories. That's the thing. And what is the exact feed funding? One of Lizzie's charities, food banks, or just money to throw in the pile? That's a good question. Wait, what? They're merching the Queen's burial site? Can you imagine if Harry and Meghan started selling Sussex eggs from Archie's cheek? And that is funny. Yeah, what is it? When you hear the derangers coming on my comment and saying all this, I'm like, why not? Shouldn't they make money? They cut their wings. They don't want to support them. And then they're telling them to fly. So why not? They need to make money. Everybody else can make money off of them, but they can make money off of themselves. What the F? Wow, these people are truly deranged. No wonder why. Oh my god. Oh, I did remove it. It is the entrance fee to tour the castle, has and always been that entry fee. Do you think castles and churches just repair themselves for free? Whatever. You know what? Let me leave that alone. I think I took this the other video that the ex-soldiers was talking about. People love to make excuses for them. But okay, my last one, and then the rest I'll leave it for another time. Next tweet. The derangers believe that anyone who disliked warriors are part of Sussex squad. Did you know we make the power to make Commonwealth tours fail? In addition, it was also claimed that the squad was able to force an entire stadium of English people to boo egg. It kind of negates the comment that we're a small and insignificant group. LOL. A group of teenagers. Oh my god, the thing that they say about the squad and professionals, all sort of things. But here you have there are some doctors, you name it, all walk of life. There's me responded, it's true though. Yes, that I don't want to brag, but we did it. And that's always been their mistake. Harry and Meghan have wide range of supporters. There's the laugh, the really power of squaddies. There's the laugh. Okay, so that's it. Let's do a prayer. I'm gonna pick one from there. I don't want to search for something. Prayer for progress and protection. Let's do this one. Lord, thank you for my beautiful family. It worries me that I cannot protect them from all the evil in this world. I am on my knees asking for your help. Please watch over my family today when they step out of the front door. Send an angel to guide them home safely and avoid any harm they may face. In Jesus' name, amen. So that's it. I'm gonna put a blooper at the end when my husband came in, but anyway, he was trying not to make noise. That's it. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. New subscribers, welcome. I just see one just sign up. So that's it. It's already 10:30. Oh my god. All right, that's it. Let me do some edit. Today's Saturday. We're not going anywhere. It's raining, so perfect timing to catch up on my edit before Tuesday. I don't know when I'm gonna do the rest of the recording because I have more tweets to share. Thank you for watching.
For me, it's an added member of the family. It's another team player as part of the bigger team. And you know, for all of us, all we want to do is be able to carry out the right engagements, carry out our work, and try and encourage others and the younger generation to be able to see the world in the correct sense, rather than perhaps having a distorted view.
Burn.
Is money. Only Harry, I will assume. This type of knowing, it should be Harry. Alright, to know who is gonna be my security person. I was gonna eat the noodle soup, but okay. Thank you. Love you. Okay, that will be a blooper. Alright, even if that was the case. They might want to know. I don't know. I don't know why. Well, maybe this is something. Oh, I'm eating the paper. I didn't even see the paper. My husband bought something for me and it wrapped up on the paper. I almost ate the paper. I'm eating the paper until I bite on it.